Hi, it's Jason Perico for Bianchi Honda, introducing the 2016 Take Home a CR-V event. Start by leasing America's best-selling SUV, the 2016 Honda CR-V LX all-wheel drive for only $279 a month for 36 months with no money down. That's right, no money down, only $279 a month. Only during the 2016 Take Home a CR-V event here at Bianchi Honda.
Time now for the Gannon Golden Knights Coaches Show, joined now by head coach Brad Rzyczycki. Coach, coming off a loss to Cal, but I think that a lot of things went well in that game. So just your general thoughts on how the game went Saturday.
Yeah, I think we actually showed up. You know, I said as the season went on that these kids that had inexperience, it would gain more as the season went. And we played a really good football team down at their place, and the kids were prepped and ready to go. And I thought they came out firing. You know, the outcome didn't turn out what we wanted, but definitely we were happy with the process part of it because that's a tough place to play. We know that from the past, and the way that those guys at Cal are playing right now, they're playing outstanding. And, you know, we just didn't capitalize off the turnovers we created. You know, we had 4 interceptions, and we picked them off 4 times and didn't convert any points, and we turned it over twice inside our own red zone, and they got 14 points out of it. And I think that seemed to be the telltale of the game right there is we didn't convert. But, you know, they played hard, and that, you know, we were looking from a certain toughness because, you know, I think we were lacking a little bit over the course of the last 2 weeks at certain positions just from a toughness standpoint. So we had some kids go out there and really leave it on the line, which I was really excited about. And I put my head on a pillow Saturday night knowing I know we didn't win a ball game, but we played hard and left everything out in the field, and that's what you want from your kids. You want the grind at this point in the season. They're not giving up, and, you know, we got our challenge this week too.
And we talked about the first half last week, and it seemed that you almost won the first half. I think it was 12 seconds left that Cal took the ball back, scored, made it 14-7. So there were some battles that clearly your team won in the first half that they hadn't been winning prior to this week, I would say.
Yeah, even statistically, you looked at the first half, I think we had 200 yards of offense. They had like 89 yards of total offense. They run the ball really well, Cal, and that was an emphasis of ours, is try to get into our run fits and stop the run and tackle the skilled players that they had, which teams hadn't done in the past, and our guys did a really good job of finding their fits and making their one-on-one tackles and making big plays in the pass game. We forced them into throwing the ball, and it's not something that they wanted to do for the most part. But yeah, that late score, you know, we kind of gave up a coverage. Gary Brown, number 9 for them, is a really skilled wide receiver. We've had to face him for the last couple of years, and thank God he's a senior. He's going to graduate. We were doing some things to double him, and some other kids made some plays for him. With our injuries on our team in the secondary, you know, we had some kids step up and play really well, but you know, it cost us a little bit during the course of the game. Some kids just learned on the run out there.
And speaking of the run, you did get going on the ground, and it's kind of a catch-22, isn't it? Because you get going on the ground, and that's what's productive for you. I don't know if you went to a hurry-up or something like that, but that can tend to eat away from the clock. But the score really stayed close. I mean, 35-14, right?
Yeah.
That's a pretty adequate depiction in the sense that, like I said, you guys got it going on the ground, kept the clock running, and if not for that interception late in the first half, we're talking about a different game probably in the second half.
Oh, absolutely. You know, it was 14-7 at halftime, and we came out and we turned the ball over inside our own 10. And they scored to make it 21-7. If you have a team without any fight, at that point in time, it's over with a good team like Cal. We came back, and, you know, Marcus Jones got loose. We had to get a 55-yard run. We made it 21-14, got ourselves right back into the ball game. And, you know, at that point in time, we were back and forth. We had our 3 and outs. We had our stops, and we had our opportunities. We made some plays. We intercepted some balls, and we just didn't move it enough and didn't make enough plays in the end. But, you know, I was proud of the way they continued to fight throughout the course of the game. 35-14, I know that looks like 21 points, and it doesn't depict how close that game was, especially in the second half. But the kids came out and played, and they played hard. So I was extremely happy with their effort. And, you know, we got to learn from the certain things and reflect back in that game so we don't make common mistakes. But, you know, we've got to find ways to score points and protect the ball, especially in our own red zone.
So do you see a lot that you can grow from in this game, Coach, or is this one you turn the page, you got a really tough team coming up this weekend in IUP, maybe just as tough as Cal. So do you turn the page, or are there some things that you're really trying to hammer home from the Cal game?
Well, yeah, I think when you go play that well against a really good football team like that, you're going to build confidence with kids. You know, it's up to them to believe that they're that good at that point in time. I told them at halftime, I said, you're out playing this team right now, you know, and I know the scoreboard doesn't depict it, but you got to believe you're that good. You can't just, we got to get into to opportunities to convert when we have those opportunities during the course of the game. But it's a matter of belief, and I think once you go down there and play that hard and keep yourself in a game against a really good football team like that, yeah, I think it builds confidence with the team, and I think they're starting to understand how good potentially they could be because they're not young. And I never use our youth and our inexperience as a reason to lose. So it's not okay to lose football games. I told those guys that they shouldn't be happy about it, but they should understand, you know, how well they played that Saturday.
There have been people that have come in and they get walloped by Cal or IUP their first year, I would say. For a young team, like you said, to play them that close, you outgained them. A lot of things you did better than Cal in this game. I'm thinking 2-3 years from now when you've got freshmen that were on this team, looking back, that's when it really pays dividends, which is what I think you were alluding to.
Yeah, I think we should win every game. So I don't care if we're putting out true freshmen every game. I just never want to give our kids a crutch or an excuse and say, hey, look, it's okay to lose a ball game because we've done such a good job of building a culture that, you know, the expectation is to win games. I don't ever want those kids to feel as if it's okay to lose them. You know, as long as they leave it all out there, you know, we're not going to get consumed with the result. But, you know, I was proud of the way they fought and played. But, you know, winning is still important, and those kids gotta make sure that they understand it. And we'll just get better as time goes on, especially when you're getting experience out there. And we know we're getting these kids back for 2 or 3 years.
So Saturday it'll be at Gannon, so back home where you've done well this year, and it's IUP. Like I said, a tough team. They come in with 1 loss. So other than scoring a lot of points, what are the similarities between Cal and IUP?
Yeah, I mean, they're somewhat similar for what they do on offense, except Cal's quarterback didn't run it, and IUP's absolutely does, and he's a really, really good football player, and he busts some plays that aren't there and ends up in some gaps he's not supposed to be in. But they're similar from that standpoint. They're completely different on defense. The fact that Cal brought pressure all the time, IUP's really a base defense, which makes me think, you know, they know that they've got some really good talented players on defense, and you're going to have to win your one-on-ones. And that's not easy to do against them because they're going to be sound and they're going to have practice what we do on offense. But when it comes down to Saturday, it's easier said than done, but we have got to make sure that we're sound in our gap fits and we tackle in space because that's what they're going to do to us. And I don't know that you can ever control number 5, their quarterback. I mean, he's a talented kid, but we have got to make sure that we do everything we possibly can to try to handle him from that standpoint. Force them to do things offensively that they don't want to do. But if you let those guys get on a roll, you know, they play with a lot of momentum when they get up. And this game has been a competitive game through the last 4 or 5 years. I enjoy it because I know they're going to bring a toughness to the table, and so are we from that standpoint. The kids know I enjoy this game too. But you know, in the end, we've got to be sound for what we do and just go out and play like we did last week.
Are there certain players on IUP that you'll key on and preparing for them this week, or is it just kind of you're playing Gannon's game?
Right, Alex, I'm sore right now because I tried to mimic and play 5 at times at quarterback with our scout team, and I'm nowhere near as skilled as he is. But I had fun with our defense out there. But, you know, he does a good job of hiding the ball and his read stuff and what he does and how he gets the ball out of his hands pretty fast. And I just kind of put an emphasis of where our kids' eyes were, you know, wearing that jersey out there and having those guys just have an idea of who we need to stop from that standpoint. But they got a really skilled tailback, too, that's a true freshman that'll run away from you. Number 4, their slot's been making big plays, and he's catching the ball for over 100 yards a game right now. And I'm sure we'll get Pegues back, 34, who's always given us problems in the past, and he's been injured to this point. But I'm sure it's Gannon. We'll probably see him. And they got some tall outside receivers, I think 162 and 164. So they got some really talented kids on the offense, and their offensive line has always been good down there. They do a good job with those guys, and defensively they get after you. So, yeah, we've got our hands full. We know they're going to be talented. We're going to key on number 5. I don't know that we necessarily can stop him. When people do that, the tailback gets loose, the receivers get loose. 4, you know, had a big game against Slippery Rock. If 34 is back in the game, we know we've got to do things to help bottle him up. So it's going to be, you know, keep ourselves sound in our gap fits and tackle in space.
Clearly, you had something going for you against Cal last week. I won't congratulate you because it was a loss. I know you're out to win, but it was a good game, and I anticipate a competitive game with IUP this weekend. So we'll look forward to that. Like I said, it's at Gannon. You've had some more success. Does being home help out at all?
Yeah, absolutely. Home helps. I mean, those kids are sleeping in their own bed. Coaches are sleeping in their own bed. It helps being at home. Absolutely.
Good stuff. Coach Brad Rzyczycki, thanks so much.
Thanks, Alex.